All right, it's time for the last monthly TBR of the year. What am I going to try and finish before the new year? And the answer is so many things. Even though it's also a big month for me writing wise for my thesis, I still want to read all the things I love reading in the winter, around the holidays, when it's cold. So hopefully, I will be rewarding myself from writing the thesis with reading lots of books, and we'll see how that works out. So first I'll talk about the obligations that will for sure happen, things that I really want to get to, and then at the end, hopefuls, who knows. So starting off, Transcendent Kingdom. This is our book club book. I am so excited. So I have never read Homegoing. I do know that my book club had read Homegoing in the past, but I couldn't go that month and didn't read it. And I've only heard good things about both this and Homegoing, and I'm really excited. It's short. And this one actually, it is about a PhD candidate going through grief. And I'm a PhD candidate, currently not grieving anything, thankfully, but I'm interested because this is more contemporary, I feel, whereas Homegoing was more of a generational historical fiction, which I do love those, and I really probably should pick that up, especially if I end up liking Transcendent Kingdom. I also have my Patreon buddy read, which for me is a reread, and I'm so excited that I'm going to get to spoiler vlog about this and then maybe hopefully make a standalone review, and that is Redemption in Indigo by Karen Lord. I'm so excited. Again, it's another good short one, and it's a retelling, and I think it's going to be such a great reread for the season. This is a Senegal Caribbean retelling by Karen Lord, and it's just so funny and whimsical. You have this main character whose husband very much takes advantage of her goodwill. She kind of runs away to her family and he comes to find her. And then in the background, these spiritual beings, this chaos god loses his chaos stick that she's been given by these other, I don't know, I can't remember the exact name for them, but by these other beings. And so now she suddenly has a chaos stick that this chaos lord wants. And they kind of go on this adventure. It's an adult fairy tale. That's how I feel about it. I love Karen Lord's writing. This is going to be such a cozy reread. I cannot wait. And then, because my Patreons really love me, when we did our poll for what book I'm going to be reading in December, they voted for Temper by Nikki Drayden. This is the last full-length novel of Nikki Drayden that I haven't read. I think this is actually a fantasy. So the first one I read was The Prey of Gods, which was like sci-fantasy, and then Escaping Exodus and Symbiosis were very much sci-fi, and I think this is more fantasy. I'm very excited. Again, whoever does the covers for her books, on point. I don't know what it's about. I literally just bought it because I've liked all the other novels I've read by her, so that's what happened. And I'm trying to think, do I have other things? Nope, so the rest is just me. What I want to do, although there is a buddy read for Path of Daggers. So I'm still starting this at the end of November, but I don't think I'll be finishing it by the end of November. But Steffi and I just finished A Crown of Swords, so we're going to get into the Path of Daggers. It's going to be interesting. I actually really liked A Crown of Swords, a lot. I think it's my personal favorite Wheel of Time book. I think it has so many epic things that happen. I literally do not understand why more people don't like it. And why they like Lord of Chaos more or other things. I have a huge disconnect with the general Wheel of Time opinions out there. I have no clue. So I really liked The Crown of Swords, except for one thing. There was one thing I really didn't like. And if you've read it, you know. It was uncomfortable and unnecessary. But otherwise, I really liked the book. So we'll see. I think The Path of Daggers is for sure the slog, whereas A Crown of Swords is is it the slog? So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And then I am reading Midnight Tides, the 5th Malazan book. I think I'm only at 200 pages of the way in as of filming this. So I'll have 700 pages to read in December, or maybe less depending on if I read some of Midnight Tides while I'm on vacation, because I am filming this before the holiday break. So this is the TBR, but who knows what my mood's going to do at the end of November. It'll hopefully work out. And in anticipation for some of my exciting new releases to read in December, I am currently reading Jade War, so on November 30th, I pick up my copy of Jade Legacy, and I'm going to be reading that right away. It's going to be so tense, so stressful. I was a part of a Jade Legacy predictions video on World Hoppers. You should check that out if you've read the first 2 books, because we just all freak out about our predictions and how many things we're like, oh, that is probably going to happen, but my heart, I can't. And it made me even more excited to get to this new release at the end of this month, start of next month. And then, of course, The Liar's Knot. I think that comes out December 7th. and that is when I will walk to my bookstore, pick up my own copy, go home, and read for the day. I am hoping to have like one of the chapters recently finished of my thesis so I can just treat myself, if not for sure that evening, but The Liar's Not for sure happening. I cannot wait. It's one of my anticipated releases. And we've been buddy reading the whole Winnowing Flame series in my Discord. I'm currently in the middle of The Bitter Twins. And so the last one to read in December would be The Poison Song, which I think is my favorite cover. No surprise. There's a cat on it, and I really like the green. Although I really liked all of these covers. And so really interested to see where this goes. I'm more excited to get back into The Bitter Twins because as of filming this, I haven't been allowed to give it time to read. I've been so busy doing other things and finishing other books. It's annoying. So those are a lot of the things. Another thing I'd like to get, and this would be through audiobook, is Braiding Sweetgrass. This is the nonfiction book for Jess Owens Nonfiction Book Club. There's usually a meeting in the first or second weekend of December. So people have been reading it throughout November, and if I can get it done in time, that'd be fantastic to be available to chat for the live show in the comments, or maybe even in the show. I've actually been a guest host on her last 2 nonfiction ones, but I've also been meaning to read Braiding Sweetgrass for a really long time, and it was on my 21 books to read in 2021 video. So it would be nice if I can just get one more of those checked off the list, and one of these other books that I actually really want to make time to read, and I've never talked about it before, and it's completely out of like left field from me, and that's Amor Actually. This is a short story anthology of romance stories by Spanish authors. I don't know if it's Latinx or Spanish. Regardless, I want it. I don't know, I feel like holiday season is when I really do want romance stories, and this is like a seasonal romance story anthology, and I want to try it out. It comes out, I think, again, December 7th, so I probably won't read it then because The Liar's Not. But I think I'm going to get myself a copy and try it out and see what I like. I don't know. When I saw a couple people talking about it on Twitter, I was like, that feels so cozy. I want to try that. That sounds good. So that's like the top priority. And then I want to mention 3 books that are like in my maybe it could happen, depending on my mood and what I get to. So the first one, I actually got a copy from the library, and this is Turning Darkness into Light by Marie Brennan. So I could read just 2 Marie Brennan books. This is the last novel in A Natural History of Dragons. It's actually more of a companion novel, and it's following her granddaughter. And this one interests me because I didn't know it was going to have kind of like some mixed media formats. Like we've got footnotes, we've got letters. Like I don't really know what this is about. I'm very interested in it, and I like the dragons on the cover. So this is one that I could for sure see myself picking up. It's been a minute since I've read Hyperion, and I have The Fall of Hyperion, and Ryan's been reading Hyperion. And at first he was going to DNF it because of the soldier story, which is bad. I mean, some people like it, like a few, but there's a short story in Hyperion that is just like really boring, and the characterization is very poor. But he's actually really not hating it now. I think maybe enjoying it. I don't know. I can never tell when Ryan really likes a book. But regardless, Fall of Hyperion, I want to have like around because maybe Alan will pick it up, or Evie, because we were going to read The Fall of Hyperion kind of soonish. Because it picks up right where the last book left off, and it's very action-packed, from what I can remember at least. I read it very quickly. So, would like to pick this up. I have no clue how when I read this I didn't damage the spine. I don't know what I did. I have no clue. But really want to have this nearby. And my life has been chaos. I have not actually accomplished as much of my November TBR as I would like. It's not been horrible, but it's not been amazing. And this sci-fi trilogy that I've really enjoyed has been on the back burner, and it's not its fault. It's just my timing's fault. So Ursa Major is probably not going to be read in November. So I want to have it on the December tentative TBR so that maybe I pick it up. It's not the end of the world if I get to it in 2022. It's just maybe, it'd be nice. So those are the nebulous plans. I mostly just have a lot of hopefuls. It's really dependent on my thesis, and I hate that because I hate writing, but luckily I only have 3 more chapters to write, so yeah. Also, I've already been planning a lot of my end of the year videos and have a lot on deck, but in the comments, not only you can tell me what you're planning to read to finish out the year, but any videos you would like to see me do, I can try and make sure I have plans for those, because I have a lot of ideas, but I know that there are always more that can be done, because end of the year stuff is my favorite things to watch. I love planning for the next year. It's just a good time. If you made it this far, leave a snowman emoji for December, because I hope it will snow for Christmas. Although it's always a double-edged sword, because I like snow only in December, which it doesn't normally snow in December anymore because climate change. But I don't like it in January or February. And the earlier it starts snowing, the longer winter is. So I don't know, double-edged sword. But I do like a good snowman, so leave that as your emoji. And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.